Trying to keep up with AI news, it feels like a full-time job sometimes.
It really does. Blink and you miss a major release or a shift in direction.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing today, trying to cut through that noise. We're diving deep into the latest update.
Yeah, pulling out the really important stuff, the new models, how AI is actually being used, the tech behind it all.
Think of it as your quick download on what's actually happening right now. Yeah. No overload, just the key developments.
Let's do it. Where should we start? Models seem like a good place.
Okay, yeah. So OpenAI, there's buzz about new mini models, GPT-4.1, 03, 04 mini. What's the deal there?
Right, that's the rumor. The mini part is interesting. It suggests, maybe smaller, more efficient models.
Smaller how? Like less powerful?
Potentially. Or, more likely, optimized for speed and lower resource use. Think fewer parameters those dials the AI learns from.
Okay, so faster responses. Maybe easier to run on, like phones or something.
Exactly. Could be about making advanced AI more accessible, getting it onto more devices without needing massive cloud power. That's the potential significance.
Makes sense. And sticking with models, NVIDIA's got something called ultra-long 8B. Sounds long.
It definitely is. Ultra-long 8B, it's all about the context window. We're talking up to 4 million tokens.
4 million. That's huge, right? What does that actually let it do?
Well, think of the context window as the AI's working memory. With 4 million tokens, it can hold like several books worth of information in its mind at once.
Wow. So for analyzing really long documents or complex stories.
Precisely. It could be a game changer for tasks needing deep understanding of massive text sequences.
Okay, that's impressive. Shifting gears a bit, but still on models Google AI and AME. This one sounds very specific.
Yeah, AMI Articulate Medical Intelligence Explorer. It's an LLM, but fine-tuned specifically for diagnostic reasoning in healthcare.
Diagnostic reasoning, so helping doctors figure out what's wrong.
Essentially, yes. It's designed to generate potential diagnoses, like differential diagnoses. Not to replace doctors, obviously, but as a kind of sophisticated assistant.
Like an AI second opinion generator.
Sort of, yeah. Helps them consider possibilities. They're still evaluating how effective it is, but the focus is clear.
Interesting. And there's another one, Moonsight AI's Kimi VL Vision and Language.
Correct. Kimi VL is a vision language model series. The key here is it's compact, but aims for strong multimodal reasoning, understanding images and text together.
So it can look at a picture and understand text about it, even complex stuff.
That's the goal. High-res images, long context text, connecting the dots between visual and written information. Think sophisticated analysis of reports with images, things like that.
Okay, so we're seeing very specialized models, but also models pushing general capabilities like context length.
Exactly. It's development on multiple fronts.
Now, pulling back for a wider view, the Stanford 2025 AI Index is out. What's the headline from that?
Well, the big picture is continued progress. AI performance keeps improving on benchmarks, and, it's becoming more embedded in daily life and business.
Any surprises? Or just confirmation of the trend?
Mostly trends, but stark ones. High U.S. corporate investment and adoption, definitely. But also, China is closing the performance gap on AI models really fast.
Ah, so that global competition aspect is heating up.
Very much so. It's a key finding.
We've also heard a lot about Gemini 2.5 Pro, especially for building AI agents without code.
Yeah, there's been buzz around that. Platforms like VectorShift, DataButton, they're leveraging models like Gemini 2.5 Pro. DataButton even has this reasoning mode.
Reasoning mode, what does that do?
It seems to let users build like full stack applications just by describing what they want in prompts. It lowers the barrier to creating these AI agents significantly.
So more people can potentially build complex AI tools without deep coding skills.
That's the idea. Democratizing AI agent creation could unleash a lot of innovation.
And for those who do code and want local control, there's this OpenHands LM.
Right, that's a local large language model built on Quencoder, I believe. The key is it runs on your own machine and has a pretty big context window. 128K tokens specifically for coding tasks.
So developers can work with large code bases locally without the cloud.
Exactly. More privacy, potentially faster iteration for specific coding workflows.
Okay, tons happening on the model front. Let's shift to applications. How is all this tech actually being used? Education seems like one area with Anthropic's Claude for education.
Yeah, that's specifically designed for colleges and universities. It aims to be a secure, responsible AI assistant for students, faculty, staff.
For what kinds of things?
Research, Admin.
All the above, potentially. Helping students with research and writing, helping faculty design courses, maybe streamlining some admin tasks. The focus is on safe integration into the academic environment.
Interesting. And in medicine, beyond diagnostics like AME, there's talk about AI improving empathy, bedside manner. Oof. Well, the idea is using AI for simulation. Doctors and students could practice communication skills, difficult conversations, emotional responses in a safe AI-driven environment before dealing with real patients.
Practicing empathy with an AI.
Yeah. Combine that with things like that AI vision model analyzing radiology images with physician-level accuracy. AI is hitting healthcare from multiple angles, technical skills and soft skills.
That's quite a range. And something a bit lighter, Netflix, using AI for search.
Apparently testing it, yes. The goal is pretty straightforward. Use AI to give better, more relevant recommendations for shows and movies. Help people find something to watch faster in that huge library.
Okay, that makes sense. We also saw LiveKit, the tech behind ChatGPT's voice mode, get a big chunk of funding, $45 million.
Right. LiveKit is open source, powering real-time audio and video. That funding highlights how crucial seamless, real-time interaction voice video is becoming for AI applications.
So interfaces are moving beyond just text.
Definitely. Voice is huge, and integrating multimodal communication is key.
Looking globally again, there's news from China. Alibaba's Quark AI assistant apparently overtook ByteDance's Dubao in popularity.
That's the report from March, yeah. Quark supposedly hit around 150 million monthly active users globally. Dubao, around 100 million. It just shows the massive scale and rapid adoption of AI assistants, especially in China, but with global reach, too.
Huge user numbers. And then there's this. AI delivering news as memes. Agenda 47.
Yeah, that popped up. Using AI personalities to deliver news updates in a meme-like format, it's unconventional.
Is that like a serious news source or more entertainment?
Probably blurring the lines. It definitely shows AI pushing into media in new ways, raises questions about engagement versus, accuracy and the nature of news itself, even if it seems fun.
Right. Definitely something to watch. Okay, so that's applications. But what about the challenges and concerns? AI isn't all smooth sailing.
Far from it. For instance, Microsoft research found that current AI coding tools, they still struggle with complex debugging compared to human developers.
So, good for generating code, maybe, but not so great at finding the tricky bugs yet.
Seems to be the case. They're helpful, but not a replacement for human expertise in certain key areas like debugging.
And there was that MIT study about LLMs failing math problems if you give them irrelevant info.
Yeah, that highlights how sensitive these models can be to the input. Irrelevant details in a math word problem could throw them off completely. It really underscores how important careful prompt writing is. You need to feed them clean information.
Garbage in, garbage out, essentially.
Pretty much. And speaking of garbage, there's this bot, a Kira bot, using OpenAI tech to bypass filters and just spam websites like crazy.
Spamming. With AI, how does that work?
It uses the AI to generate convincing-looking spam comments or posts, apparently bypassing normal detection methods to promote SEO services across tens of thousands of sites. It's a sophisticated misuse of the tech.
So the tools can be used for bad stuff, too. Not surprising, I guess.
No. And then there are the bigger picture concerns, like electricity usage.
Yeah, the power demands of AI. I saw headlines about that.
It's becoming a major point. Predictions are that data center electricity use could double by 2030, largely driven by AI. Eric Schmidt, ex-Google CEO, even made a comment about needing 99% of electricity for super-intelligent AI eventually, which is, extreme, but highlights the scale.
Doubling by 2030 is huge. And aren't companies looking at weird power sources? Like Elon Musk using methane gas generators for xAI's data center.
Right, that was reported. It points to the pressure to find massive amounts of power wherever they can get it, which raises its own environmental questions, obviously.
Absolutely, which ties into policy, right? There's new U.S. federal AI policy.
Yes, demanding responsible and explainable AI from both government agencies and the private sector tech leaders they work with. It's pushing for accountability and transparency.
Explainable AI.
Yeah.
That's still a tough nut to crack, isn't it?
It is. Understanding why an AI makes a certain decision is often very difficult, especially with the most complex models.
And beyond policy, there are, societal anxieties, too. Someone mentioned AI panic at a high school reunion. Worries about kids' futures.
Yeah, that came up. Concerns about job displacement, what careers will even look like. It's definitely a topic causing real anxiety for people thinking about the future.
And philosophical questions, too, like, can we even tell AI thought from human thought anymore?
That's a deep one. As AI gets better at mimicking human language and reasoning, that line gets blurrier, raising all sorts of implications.
It also gets into the corporate structures behind AI. Former OpenAI employees backing Musk's claims about the company losing its nonprofit way.
That's been reported, yes, adding fuel to that ongoing debate about OpenAI's mission and structure shift.
And Sam Altman talking about maybe paying artists for AI art. Ilya Sutskever raising billions for a new AI startup with no product yet.
All part of the messy, high-stakes drama and speculation around the big players and their future directions. Even XAI apparently tweaked its Grok chatbot to protect Musk from misinformation claims.
Wow, lots of controversy swirling around.
Definitely. Ethical, societal, and business challenges are growing alongside the technology.
Okay, let's move to the infrastructure and tools making all this possible. Google launched Firebase Studio. What's that about?
It's positioned as a free AI development tool. The aim seems to be streamlining app development using AI agent-powered workflows, full-stack deployment, all integrated.
Free is always interesting,
Yeah.
trying to get more developers using their AI tools.
Likely, yes, lowering the barrier to entry. And they also have the Agent Development Kit, the ADK, further supporting building these agentic applications.
And for transparency, the Allen Institute's UlmaTrace, tracing LLM outputs.
Yeah, that's potentially really important. It aims to trace in real time where an LLM's output comes from in its training data.
Why is that so crucial?
Accountability, understanding bias,
Hmm.
debugging. If an LLM gives weird or bad output, tracing it back to the source data helps understand why. It addresses that black box problem to some extent.
Got it. And NVIDIA's still building the hardware backbone, right? AI factories.
Yeah.
Right. They're pushing their DGX super POD systems to build these massive compute clusters faster. And they're emphasizing things like network resiliency, making sure these giant systems are reliable and data flows efficiently. It's all about the plumbing needed for large-scale AI.
The plumbing is essential. We also saw Qualcomm buy VinAI.
Yeah, an acquisition to boost their generative AI capabilities. Qualcomm wants stronger AI offerings for mobile, automotive, IoT, their core markets. Shows AI integration spreading everywhere.
And there's work on smaller scale stuff too. Light PROF, using knowledge graphs.
Yes, that's a framework letting smaller, more lightweight language models do complex reasoning, but by using structured data like knowledge graphs and carefully designed prompts.
So you don't always need a giant model if you have good data and structure.
That's the idea. Efficiency for specific tasks, potentially using less compute power by being smarter about the data interaction.
Finally, this debate about vector databases for AI agents. Are they essential or not?
It's an interesting discussion. Vector DBs are popular for searching information quickly for agents, but managing them adds complexity. So some are exploring alternatives like middleware that can search existing databases directly.
Trying to simplify the data pipeline.
Basically, yeah. Finding the most efficient way to get the right information to the AI agent when it needs it, it's an evolving area.
Okay. So wrapping this all up,
Yeah,
it's just a whirlwind, isn't it? The pace is relentless.
it truly is. Models getting bigger, smaller, more specialized, applications popping up everywhere from medicine to memes, big infrastructure plays, and of course those growing challenges and ethical questions.
It really drives home how dynamic this field is. You need to keep paying attention.
Absolutely. And critically evaluating what you hear, not just the hype, but the real substance and the implications.
Right. So on that note, maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on. Considering everything we just covered, the speed, the different models, the applications, the concerns, what single AI development we talked about today do you think might hit closest to home for you personally or professionally in the next, say, 6 months to a year?
That's a good question to ponder. What's going to shift things tangibly in the near term?
Something to think about as we all continue watching this space. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive.